Hello, welcome to the Peter Repeater episode 32. This is a podcast where I talk about whatever I like, and with repetitions, putting the hours in, getting the practice in, I will hopefully eventually get to the stage where I'm interesting. But we're not there yet. We've got some way to go. So I'm just checking that everything's all happy, up and running on my phone. So we're not there yet. We've got some way to go. Okay, I have to level with you. I have to. Can it autofocus? I have to level with you. It's good news. So I wrote a book called An Unbelievable God by Peter Newing. And then what I decided to do was I decided to turn that book into a piece of art. No, I decided to upload the book onto Amazon, and it all works correctly. My friend bought the paperback and it printed out, and it looks all working, up and running, and the Kindle version works. Everything's all cool. I'm pretty happy with the product on Amazon, and the book is a short book, 63 pages, and it's just about God and stuff. And it's really, you can barely call it a book, but what else do you call it? If it's on Amazon, you can read it. Even if it's shorter than other books, it's still a book. So I'm an author, just saying. So moving on from my own self-congratulations there. What I'm saying is I got this Instagram at Peter Newing, Newing, on the end of Peter. So at Peter Newing, I got Instagram, and I thought, wait a second, Brainwave. Should have been my thought like maybe a week ago, but never mind. Brainwave, I can I can share my book that I've written on Instagram. That mind blown, because people now know that I've written a book. It's great. So it's a success story because one person has messaged back. So it's an Instagram story. It says, it's got the cover of the book, An Unbelievable God, Peter Newing, nice picture, and then it's got book on Amazon. And then somebody replied back on Instagram and said, just downloaded it. Thanks for sharing. Amazing. Happy face. Because, more to the point, they're going to read my book. I would happily give everyone a free copy if it meant they read my book. But you can't sell it for free because it doesn't let you. So you have to pay 99p. But if you got the money, if you can splash the cash, 99p is a colloquial term for pence, shortening, and it's basically a little bit less than a pound. A pound is the base unit of GDP GPD. I don't know of Great British Pound is GBP. I don't know. The pound is the base unit of the England UK currency. So now that we've got that out of the way, so basically it's worth a bit more than $1, worth a bit more than euro type thing. Yeah, so that is the pound. Take a little bit less, 1/100th less than that, and 99p, and you can read my book, and you can download it, and it's great. And I'm so happy that one person has bought it. And the great thing about buying a book is that you're committed. You've put the money on the table. You've in this dodgy room, you've got the briefcase full of the 1p coins, and you slide it over in a tense atmosphere with bodyguards either side of you, and you slide over to the drug lord, and you just say, "Here's one digital download of my book. Here's the cash. Let's do a transaction here." And then briefcase full of 1p coins goes over the table, makes that sound that a briefcase over a table makes. Can't do the sound. No, I can't do the sound. Shh, across the table. And then they open the keyboard, they open the suitcase, and they look at the 1p coins, and they're just like biting it, and they get their little copper tester out and go boop, and then they go boop 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 boop, check every 1p coin for its purity, and check it against a proof 1p coin, and then make sure that the 1p coin is real, and then I'll get on to the point of the story here. And then they've got all the 99p, and then the digital transaction goes off over in Amazon. Jeff Bezos gets the call, confirms everything going on, everything's legit, confirms the transactions. This is what he does for my book, and then it gets escalated to government. Donald Trump and Boris Johnson have to meet each other on a secret island located, somewhere in the Pacific, and then they sign a document and they form a treaty for the next 100 years that this Kindle book is going to be transacted through the authorization of Amazon and Jeff Bezos. And then the suitcase, don't know why I say keyboard, the suitcase full of coins is slid over, and then after 3 days of waiting for all this confirmation of government business with Jeff Bezos and Prime Minister and President, after all this negotiations, the digital book gets sent by email to the Kindle, and then you get a download. And basically somebody did that with my Kindle book. So they've got my book, and just because I shared it with Instagram, shared the book, they bought it. Unbelievable. And that's what my book is called now. My book is called An Unbelievable God. There's no book called An Unbelievable God, but there's a book called Unbelievable, which is about Christianity and God, but mine's completely different. That book's sold more, but never mind. It's great. Happy as Larry. So people have bought my book. They signed everything. Bought my book, signed everything, crossed the T's and dotted the I's. Not that I've done that in my book, but the T's and the I's are crossed and dotted, but I didn't do the handwriting of my book. It's all digital. You just type it in. So there I was after my birthday, just thinking, do you know what, I'm going to write a book. And then I wrote a short book, and then boom, it's published. I wrote 1,000 words a day for 29 days. So if I get my calculator out, I could tell you how many words that is. But I don't have my calculator with me. Let me just do my mental arithmetic. 29,000 words. I was just picturing the apples and the bananas and trading them for goats and cows and livestock. I have my calculator farm that I mentally, it's like my abacus, but it's my calculator farm, and I mentally picture the cows and sheep and everything, and the sheepdogs and herding, and that's how I do all my maths. And that's basically how I was able to get a maths and further maths A level. I'm not going to say the grade, but I'm not going to say the grade. A star. Not going to say the grade. That's been a tightly held secret Whenever I talk about my grades, I think I got my target grade. That's what I say to people. I'm happy, got good grades, got my target grade. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into, because I'm not like an academic to the extreme, like not going off. You don't know how old I am, but you know, I'm not going off getting degrees and stuff. So I'm a little bit, you know, simple, dim. But I did some calculus and algebra and spinning stuff. I don't know if it was, things were definitely spinning, rotations, and I don't know why it's useful to understand to calculate the volume of a rotational an object with rotated around a point, and I don't know. Anyway, physics and stuff. Did physics A star. I got a bad cough there. Yeah. I can't help it.
Hiding behind the bush is not as good as being in our bedroom. Have you got a biscuit in your thing yet?
Yeah, so anyway,
Love a biscuit.
got a bad cough.
Had a lovely chat with Carol.
Not corona. So
Yeah.
that Rona can get lost. I was just thinking, sitting down in my room podcasting, I'm getting so brainwashed by all the stand-up comics. I want to be a stand-up comic, and there's some stand-up comedies that I've seen. They're really funny, like really funny, make me laugh. And I suppose it's style, but I just think you can be better. This whole this whole idea of like practicing and putting the years in and getting better, I think that's good, but I just think some of these people just aren't that funny. But I suppose it's the style of humour. Bill Burr, top notch. Bill Burr, Paper Tiger, funniest thing I've seen for a long time. Very good. I do like James Acaster, he's funny. That's probably my style of humour. But I'd probably go on a rant about something. Wouldn't be true. Yeah, I think there's something special about being concise. I haven't got everything all sorted. You can see. Is that better? Yeah. So James Acaster is funny. I don't know what my style of humour would be on it. That's my dream. Stand-up comedies, obviously where I'm at, really. It's obviously in the future, what direction I'm heading in and everything. I'll get there eventually with my career. I just don't want to be in an office. You saw then, because I've been watching so many people swear. Don't want to be in an office, stuck in a screen, just moving stuff around. Wouldn't be able to cope with that for 40 years. 40 years, that's the standard length. But at this stage, it'd still be 40 years because of retirement. I can't do 40 years. Nope. Nope. Don't care how nice my house is and stuff. I want to make a living from other stuff. That would be ideal. And the good news is that on Instagram they found this person that replied saying, "Well done on your book." They found my book, which is ideal. You can't always guarantee that people are going to find it, because you can't have a link to swipe up to link it towards it. If you can't have that link to swipe up and everything. If you know what I'm about to say, you can't have that link to swipe up if you don't have enough Instagram followers or you're not verified or something. So all this Peter McKinnon swipe up latest video, can't do that. I swear it's a new thing. Hi. So all things considered, I think Instagram has been my saving grace. The fact I can promote my book on Instagram, because initially my Instagram was about something else. It was about taking photos, and why I got into following people and liking people and then following back and getting a following and stuff. I thought, I don't want to do my day job, so I need to figure this out. I need to figure it out and just really focus on everything and make sure that I've got another income. So my idea was to be a professional photographer. That'd be my idea, and that would be the way I would earn a living, was my idea. So I got myself some followers. I've moved everything, and then this background is, sorry about the chair sounds. I can't do that. I shouldn't be getting up. Sorry about this. You can tell it's live, I suppose. Some proof there for the conspiratorial nutheads out there who don't think this is live. It's live. So all things considered, I can just be pleased that I've got Instagram following, so I can promote my book and get people to buy it, and then maybe in a month's time I'll have a review. Very tempted to write my own review, but for my own book, but then they'll say reviewed by Peter, and then disaster, chaos, anarchy from the skies. You know, pigs raining down on us who haven't chopped their toenails in a while. Nightmare. That is end of the world right there. What you're going to do if a pig falls on the ground, not from very high, just from like half a metre so they don't hurt themselves. Pigs falling from the sky, well, half a metre up, and they fall down, and you notice their toenails, because pigs definitely have toenails, you notice their toenails slightly long, and you just can't cope. That would be a nightmare. So what do I talk about during stand-up comedy? I think it's easy because when there's context, when there's people having a conversation and you can say something funny on the conversation and there's context and you know it's funny, you can do that. But stand-up comedy, sort of on your own, just saying random stuff, and you have to sort of talk yourself into funny moments. And I think that's difficult. It's really difficult. But I watched Chris D'Elia here. That's not what he sounds. I don't understand how Chris D'Elia, I watched him this morning, his podcast, his special comedy stand-up special on Netflix. He when he laughs during the joke, and he's probably done that joke like 20 times on stage, and then he still laughs during the joke. And for me, that's like disingenuous. I don't know how you can do that, but he still does it. I find that really impressive, just to laugh on cue. But then that gets you absorbed in the moment and everything. But you still have to laugh at your own jokes. Try to find it, or I'd find that challenging. Yeah. So what they do in a special, they film it on 2 nights sometimes, and then they pick the best from the 2 nights. So they might do, say, an hour and a half of content, and then get an hour from it. See what has the best reaction, because you don't know that the hour and a half is all going to be the best. So you want to do an hour and a half and then pick the best hour, maybe. I don't know how they do it. So I bet some people just do it one way, but some comedians, like, yeah, I've been doing it for 10 years, just watch them, like, you're not funny. I suppose it's sense of humour, but yeah, I am talking about this female comedian. Nothing against girls, but some of them are comedians. I can't say that. I just did. There are a lot of male comedians. There should be more female comedians. Like some of that, I think is I think it's like character of gender, and I think you can be, or is it just more people try it, or just being more out there as a man. Females are more like compassionate and care about people, and then males are more like to offend people. I think that's got to be it. Agreeableness agreeableness, as Jordan Peterson put it. It's a bit sad. I was watching Jordan Peterson. I got into it, like really into Jordan Peterson, like watching about 20 hours of his lectures, and I watched 8 hours of him debating with Sam Harris, 4 2-hour debates. Very worth my time. Really was. So there's no doubt about it. I'm not wasting my time here. Lectures that you don't understand. They're interesting when you listen to them. Anyway, so lots of lectures, really into it, and then I find out while I'm getting deep into the Jordan Peterson rabbit hole, like I do with some people. I've done it with lots of different people. I've done it with Billie Eilish, Childish Gambino, Dua Lipa right now, Russell Brand, Ricky Gervais. Some people I go deep into their context, content on YouTube and watch everything they do. James Acaster, and you just for a while that's all you do. Michael McIntyre, all for a while that's all the videos you watch, just this one person. So I did that with don't even remember Jordan Peterson, and basically it's sad because a video came out saying, oh, he's like recovering from this really bad just like anxiety medication and paradoxical reaction, and it's when you're stuck on medication and getting off the medication you have bad symptoms, bad withdrawal symptoms, and then staying on the medication you have bad symptoms, so you sort of have to find a way to get off it, and it's difficult. So you had to go to Russia for some really hardcore medicine, and couldn't get in America. So yeah, so that basically led to and that started because his wife was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So he really likes his wife, as a lot of people do, and then this was all going on while and he wasn't uploading videos. He was, intensive care type thing, and I had no idea. I was just watching his old videos. I thought he was happy as Larry, the guy in the video, and then now you watch a video of him and he just feels, you look at him and think, oh, he's been through a lot. I read his book 12 Rules for Life. Got a lot of other books I haven't read. When I was buying books, thinking, yeah, I'll read that. Yeah, I'll read that. Yeah, I'll read that. Yeah, I'll definitely read that. You do it on Kindle, you do it in real life, on paperbacks, and Kindle is real life, as we have discussed earlier in this podcast. But paperbacks and stuff. The interesting thing about my books, you can get Kindle cheap as chips, and then paperback cheap as expensive chips with a fillet of fish. And the reason for that is not because of income that I earn, so I put the price up. Not entirely because of that. It's because you have to pay for the printing of the book. So like the printing of the book was like already so much, and I thought, yeah, I'll just stick a couple of £1 of revenue on top of it all and put the price up by a couple of pounds, and yeah, so I get some sort of income because I did sort of write the book to begin with. So 99p Kindle version, I get hardly any income, 29p. So I'll probably never see that because it needs to add up to £100. and then the paperback version sell for £5, which I think is okay for a book, and it's a big book, so it's printed, and I think it's worth £5. I'd buy it for £5, but I earn £1.30 from the £5 book, so I could have sold it for £3 and earn zilch, nothing on that book. But I decided to earn a little bit, because I thought get the Kindle if you want to read the book and you want to be cheap about it. I mean, like, frugal and budget, you don't want to spend that much money. 99p version Kindle, job's good. But the paperback version is for hardcore people that want the book in physical form and they can have it. And I bought my own book, so it's going to take 2 weeks to arrive. Bought it a week ago, and my friend bought it next day delivery for him. So obviously he has a printing centre nearby, or COVID or something, and I think mine's delayed because of COVID, and he just gets it straight away, which is good for the customers, so they can get it really soon. But yeah, basically an established author with lots going on and everything like that. I've got my book, published. This joke I say now is, I'm an author now. I've got my occupation. I have got like university to go to if it's open during coronavirus and stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm an author. That's it. That's me done. Earning 29p for a book. But yeah, that's me done. I'm done. I can lay back now. I can relax. I'm an author. I can just live off the royalties. I'm not sure if I'll ever get royalties, but because they only pay you when you get a certain threshold, £100. But I might never see the royalties. It's a bit sad. So Amazon get all that cheddar, all that 99p. Yeah. So all things considered, 99p goes to Amazon during that very complicated transaction with the briefcase over the table. Yeah. So where does that leave me? Is my microphone on? Yeah, it is. That leaves me with an occupation. I've got a job, full-time job, published author. I know it's difficult for a full-time job to be past tense, but there you go. It just is. And then I'm just so excited about somebody reading my book, because at the moment I've read my book and my dad's read my book and my friends read some of the book, and that's all good. So but very much a but here, just one person reading it is just great. Just they count, and I was very happy when each person chose to read it. But each person that reads your book is just amazing. And I read my book, corrected the mistakes, published it. It's all good. Read it, first paragraph, there's a mistake, but we we won't go into that. All the spelling is good. The spelling is top notch. I've read it all and checked it all. It's all good. This is my publishing abilities here, with my team of editors, just all busying day and night for months to get this book out by the end of the year. But I read it once and I corrected the spelling mistakes, and it's all good. It's top notch quality. Mistake in first paragraph, but never mind. I think I got the spelling mistakes, but the grammar mistakes. Sometimes I read it and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't feel right. And then I realise it didn't feel right because it was wrong. So yeah, there's the Kindle explanation for you there. When did I start this podcast? Half an hour ago. No. Yes. I don't know. That's interesting. I have no idea how long I've been talking. let's have a look at I checked my Twitter because oh, 30 minutes. Oh yeah. So the reason why I check the time, because I try and talk for a decent amount of time, 40 minutes, just to so my viewers know what to expect, and you know, they can just watch it, and it can be a short amount of time, and it's a daily thing, 2 days in a row, including today. Very much. It's episode 32. I haven't done that badly, have I? I've done 31 already. 32. Yeah. I had all these ambitions to write a very long book, but I think a long book would have been bad because I don't have any chapters. You can't really have a long book with no chapters. Just like it's difficult to read. So the fact that it's a short book means that is much easier to read. And I like to think there's a lot of substance to my book, so you could read it more than once. I like to think that. That's great, that is. Yeah, I like to think you can read it more than once, and everything can go along smoothly. So what would be my act, be my stand-up career, stand-up comedy? What would I joke about? The world? I don't know. It's difficult. Yeah. I would joke about current events. Personal experiences is always funny. Making jokes about stuff. Yeah. Sometimes you tell the truth. Add in parts of the story that didn't happen. But you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to just make stuff up. Like a book. My book is funny because my mum will say, I might not read your book because it's non-fiction. And like that implies that it's factual, maybe. But it's a lot of opinions in my book. Never mind. Apparently, there are some people that I say a paragraph about that are nutters, apparently. So I call people nutters. And I say they can be found at your local church. Book about God, very tasteful. Nutters can be found at your local church, yeah. These people are nutters. They can be found at your local church. Oh, well, it's funny when I wrote it, so the great thing about my book, there are like a few things that are funny, so I like that. Bit of comedy in there. Got a few funny things. Marshmallow monsters. Very funny and stuff. And then I've got a few metaphors in there to compare with the likes of C.S. Lewis tends to be the king of metaphors, but I wanted to write a whole book about Narnia with Aslan being like God, but I wanted to get my own metaphors in there to try and like a C.S. Lewis metaphor is one of his metaphors. I don't know if he's got more than one, but he's got metaphors like time and space is like a piece of paper. No, our time is like a line on a piece of paper, and like God is a piece of paper. You can see the whole line, and we're only a point on the line, sort of stuff. Yeah, my metaphor's better than C.S. Lewis. I think that's a fact. That's why it's called non-fiction. All things considered. Yeah. So we'll get it sorted. We'll get this book out there. People can read it. It's a lot easier to promote a book than it is to publish the book. I mean, it's a lot easier to publish and promote the book than it is to write the book. Because I say it's a short book, but then I only spent a month writing it, you know. Of course it's going to be a short book. I do sound like a broken record sometimes. Not as that badly, but I talked about writing my book for a long time, and then now I'm talking about people reading my book. And I'm not sure if I'll ever stop talking about it, to be honest. Particularly because it might be like, might grow and stuff, and that'd be exciting. Like, oh, you know, international bestseller. That's obviously going to happen. And I'll be like, yeah, I wrote that book. Yeah, it's all good. All things considered, I can sleep happy. Oh, every day I'm like, can't believe it's bedtime again. It's probably because I'm not awake that much. I'm only awake 12 hours. A bit longer sometimes, but yeah, it's just fall asleep and wake up, and then, oh, it's the daytime. And all of a sudden, oh, it's nighttime again. Alright. Now I've got to fall asleep. That was the worst thing growing up, trying to fall asleep. Terrible. Now I'm starting to realise how hard it is to, because I'm doing this podcast trying to make the thing interesting. But just imagine doing something similar, but on stage. Like, what would happen then? If it was the same, but on stage, trying to do something similar. Be crazy. What would I be doing? It's like getting that comedy concise. Because I might be able to talk 20 minutes and it might be really funny. Yeah, and then, but some people get the funniness the whole way through. But I almost think that's less funny. If you're trying to be funny the whole way through, like have funny sentences and everything, I just don't think it's as funny. I think people that take you on a story, that's when you get into bursts of laughter. That's the thing. I haven't practiced telling people stories really. As in like friendship groups, and you just have to do that really, tell people stories. I've got 3 screens of my face on it in this room, and it's very difficult to not look at one of those screens and check that it's working. Because if I look at the camera the whole time, then that will be good content because I'm looking at the screen and it looks like I'm talking to you. But no, I have to check that it's working. And it always works. All the time. I just checked again. I'm checking everything. Just look at the camera. Like Chris D'Elia with his Congratulations podcast. Just look at the camera. But then that's when you've got one person on their own. But when they're talking to each other, like on The Fire and the Kid and Joe Rogan and King the Sting, just looked at everything. I'm also looking to see how many people are watching. I do that a lot. Yeah, all those podcasts I've just mentioned, they look at each other, so they're not looking at the camera. I don't know how they set up their studio. Very complicated. Like, how do you get 6 microphones to work on the same like soundtrack? I don't know how that works. Like, do you have some sort of audio mixer? Probably. I could probably look into it. But at the minute I've just got the one microphone, one camera. That's fine enough, thank you. The fact that I'm doing this live and it's more or less good quality is the extent of my abilities. Not that I have control over it. I like to think I do. You know, the fact this is good quality is because I plug stuff in and press the right buttons. Anyway, so much better than my gaming setup. It didn't like the Nintendo Switch OBS, the program I use. I use this free software, but yeah, OBS wasn't the best. 32, eh? 32 is quite a lot. You know, this is the section of the podcast where I talk about how many I've done. Okay, yeah, thank you for watching. Pretty like the how it went today. Hopefully it can go a bit better tomorrow if I get around to it. Appreciate the watch, appreciate the view, appreciate the listen. buy my book, An Unbelievable God, Peter Newing, Newing, and then search that on Amazon, and we'll all be good. I'll start my stand-up comedy career properly soon. I don't know how during the lockdown, but I will eventually, maybe when I'm 25, like Chris D'Elia, and then do it for 20 years and then become pro. Yep, thank you for watching. Appreciate the view. Bye for now. I'll be uploading tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.